Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
So here's another piece of advice for you. Give yourself time. It is absolutely okay to promote more than one thing at a time. Many people will say that it's not. It is okay if you have a strategy. If you know what you're doing every single day of the week, when you're sending your emails, what kind of posts you're making, absolutely, especially if you have a team to manage that for you. And if not, then that's when I say focus on one thing at a time and create space for you.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on personal growth, visibility, and profit for women entrepreneurs. If you're wanting to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice in business, you're in the right place. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Marta Spurk, and I'm your host, empowerment coach, visibility and marketing expert, and all things motivation extraordinaire. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode.
Happy New Year! This is the first episode of 2024, and I come bearing amazing news. First of all, I want to thank everyone that has been supporting me in my musical journey. If you don't know, I released my very first debut single in August of 2023 and announced to the world that I would take my music more seriously. Before that, I would just, do some gigs and perform the national anthem for local events. And then I decided this is something that I want to invest in, and especially with my journey as an entrepreneur, understanding that I can really do anything, right? I mean, once you publish a book, you do a TEDx, you speak on large stages and have amazing guests come on your podcast. I've had a podcast for now 5 years. I have been learning, the power of setting your mind to something and going for it and understanding that you will reach whatever it is that you put your mind to if you don't stop. This is really my life's journey. And from a young age, I have loved music. I've loved singing. I started learning the piano when I was in college. I was, I think about, 18 or 19 when I started learning the piano. I took voice lessons before then when I was a teenager, maybe at 14, 15, and then I stopped for a while. And then I decided I'm going to go full blown. And it was so scary because it was new, and everything that's new is scary. And this is really the conversation that I want to bring on this episode, is the fact that I'm reliving so many of the firsts that I had with my coaching business now with the music, and also how they're coming together, because that is another tricky point of starting something new, is that you feel like a beginner, even though I'm not a beginner. You know what I mean? It's like I'm starting from scratch, and it's like scary. Am I just scrapping everything that I did before and closing my coaching? What am I doing? And 2024 is the year where I gain clarity on that, and I decide that I don't have to know everything right now, which at times as anxious beings, we think we need to know. But if we did, we wouldn't know what to do with it, right? So I'm embracing the uncertainty and actually accepting it and leveraging it. And it's been amazing because I am feeling the feelings from when I was a beginner that don't really hit me as much anymore. Don't get me wrong. I still get nervous. I still get disappointed at times in how a launch goes, or, things that I need to tweak. This is ongoing forevermore as an entrepreneur, I've learned. But I don't get the same type of nervous when I am going live, anymore. I don't get the same type of nervous when I'm uploading a podcast episode or it's promoting a podcast episode. Obviously, I get nervous when I get amazing guests like my latest one with Catherine Zankina, but I feel so much more confident as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a professional. I'm older now, I'm wiser. I've been through some things. But then when you start doing something completely different, some of those things creep back in, and it's been really helpful for me to step into this 7 years into my business when it feels like I've seen it all, to really commiserate and empathize with my clients. Because as you may have noticed, I am very much of a doer, as I have shared here before, in terms of the Enneagram and the different personality type assessments that I have taken, and even the one that I created, which is called 6-Figure Personality. If you haven't taken that one, you can go to martaspurk.com/quiz and figure out if you're a feeler, thinker, or doer in my 6-Figure Personality assessment. But I digress. I am very much of a doer, and it's like, what's the next thing that I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the bull by its horns and make it happen. But when it's something 100% new, you feel uncertain. And that's how I felt about my music in August. Plus, I was doing so many things at the same time, which is another common theme with me and something that I really want to shift this year. My motto this year is really focusing on one thing at a time. One thing at a time, because I have plenty of time. That's one of the things that came about. I was doing this vision board event for one of the networking groups that I'm a part of. Actually, it's called She Leads. If you're local to Colorado and they do have virtual chapters, you should go check them out. SheLeadsGroup.com. Great networking group. And I am one of the leaders in the chapter that I'm a part of. And we were leading this vision board session, and the president of the chapter was leading us through a meditation, a visualization. And she had us meet our 80-year-old self, like an older version of ourselves. And what did she say to you? And what my 80-year-old self said to me was, Marta, you have plenty of time. Ooh. And isn't that like completely counterintuitive? And like, no, I don't have plenty of time. Everything needs to happen yesterday. And that's how I've lived my life, honestly, and how I've dealt with my business, I must say, for the last 7 years. So ever since releasing my music, I have been feeling this shift of less is more. And no matter how many times you hear these things, until you get to that point, you know what I mean? And I'm at this point, and this is what I see 2024 for me. And if you resonate with this, you know, the things I'm about to say are going to be huge for you, is that I have plenty of time to figure things out. You know, I have plenty of time to take action, to move forward and have the steps appear in front of me so that I know what my next move is, and to actually be excited about the uncertainty of it. You know, because doing this for so long, I know the drill. You know, do a free class, make your pitch at the end, DM people. Like, I've done it all. And now bringing the music, it's like a fresh start in many ways. And as I share how I'm promoting my music, I see that it's very valuable content for people that are starting out or for people that are being more timid in promoting themselves and getting visible. So here's the big lesson with this. I launched my official, debut song in August. I actually took a course, which I should have my mentor come on and share with you guys. In fact, that's one of my goals, is to have more people in the music industry that are performers and very, very visible, because that's a part of the game, come and share their experience here. So his name is Eli Lev, and I took his course, Music Release Formula. And, I learned a lot about, how to position yourself, create your artist bio, things that I know as an entrepreneur, but that I needed to create from an artistic lens, which is a little bit different. So I needed guidance. I did what I tell people to do. I got a coach, okay? I didn't just decide to upload my music on Spotify, which if I had done that, that's amazing. Something is better than nothing. That's my philosophy. But in order for you, to go from good to great, or to have a better experience, it's good to have mentors. And that's how I've come this far. Anyway, so I enrolled for this course called Music Release Formula with Eli Lev, who's an amazing folk artist, by the way. Go check him out on Spotify. And I learned a lot about positioning myself as an artist, but a lot of the things that he was teaching about, build a landing page, have a free gift, and then have a low-cost gift. I was like, hold on a second. I know this. It's a funnel. And I have done this a time or two in my coaching business. So then I started seeing that there was a parallel there. It's marketing, okay? Which I was in the process of launching my latest single. J-Lo was also launching her newest single, and I was watching closer from a behind-the-scenes artistic perspective, seeing what she was doing. She didn't just sit there and expect people to automatically go and listen to her single the day it launched. She promoted the heck out of it. In fact, she said she was releasing an album, which she hasn't released yet. She said that 2 years ago, so late 2022 is when she said, watch out, I am launching a new album. And the album's not out yet. So the promotion begins, it's never too early to promote anything. So start now. So that's a great lesson. Anyway, So I launched my debut single in August, and but I had a lot of stuff going on. I was putting together a summit. I was about to publish my new book. I was, I had to think about my Black Friday offer already because, you start thinking ahead. And I didn't really do that big of a due diligence, if I do say so myself, in promoting that single. But just coming out and saying I'm dedicating, some of my time and just recognizing myself as a musician, it was a big deal. But then looking back, I thought, man, I wish I would have gotten more downloads. I wish I would have gotten more people supporting this. And I knew it had a direct connection with the effort that I put in to promote it. So here's the lesson for you. If you're putting up one post and pouting that the clients didn't flood in, that is not the economy's problem or the algorithm's problem. It is your responsibility as an entrepreneur to promote your dang offers. Okay? Otherwise, people don't know what you have. And I will say this again. If you don't have a solid visibility strategy, which means a marketing strategy to promote your stuff, you're not serving as many people as you could. And that's on you. So if you talk about, I want to create impact, I want to build an empire, I want to be financially free, and you are not doing the legwork for that, my friend, I'm sorry, it may not happen. You have to put in the work. And by putting in the work, I mean getting visible, right? Having a content strategy, having an email marketing strategy, speaking at events, right? If that floats your boat, or regardless, get interviewed on podcasts. Start your own dang podcast if that, is appealing to you. And network. I can't stress this enough. It's 2024. The pandemic is 3-ish years, in the past. It is time to get on out there in person and talk to real people. Networking solely online is not as effective. And I got to tell you, it's not as good for your soul. Get on out there, see people in person. It affects you differently when you see somebody live and they share something vulnerable about themselves and even tear up, or you tear up. We are meant to be in community. But I went off on a tangent there. Anyway, so I decided that for this next launch of my music, I was going to be more proactive. And so I'm going to share with you exactly what I did, okay? Because just yesterday, I received an email from Spotify, Spotify for Artists, because I have a different account as an artist than as a personal account, saying that I hit 100 followers on Spotify. And this happened in a couple weeks. And how did this happen? It didn't just happen. It was a direct result of me putting in the work, of me deciding that my music was worth the legwork, of me creating more intentional content. And like I said, I was kind of following what J.Lo was doing, like the different kinds of reels that she was putting together. Obviously her team, but whatever. I had my VA do some of the stuff, like different formats of reels, different ways to introduce it and use the music as background. I did things so much differently from August when I did my debut release. For so many reasons, because I was gung-ho on having better results, because I was more confident in my music, and because I had more time. I created more space for myself. Last time, I think I announced maybe 3 weeks ahead of time that I was releasing the song. And I didn't have that much of a plan of content because I was promoting other things. So here's another piece of advice for you. Give yourself time. It is absolutely okay to promote more than one thing at a time. Many people will say that it's not. It is okay if you have a strategy. If you know what you're doing every single day of the week, when you're sending your emails, what kind of posts you're making, absolutely, especially if you have a team to manage that for you. And if not, then that's when I say focus on one thing at a time and create space for you. So what I did with this music launch that landed me 100 followers on Spotify, several streams, which my goal is still to surpass 1,000. So if you're listening to this, go find me on Spotify or iTunes or Amazon Music and follow me as an artist and listen to my 2 singles. So I have Show Yourself and You Are Enough. Beautiful messages, by the way, beautiful mantras for entrepreneurs wanting more visibility and to create higher impact. Anyway, so what I did was I announced this on my birthday. I announced this on my birthday, which is December 2nd. So I gave myself more time and I said, I'm releasing my new song January 5th. So it was a little bit more time But what I did with that time was I had a lot more posts and I had a lot more content. And I dedicated a whole 2 weeks on social media for that offer only. So I wasn't promoting anything else. Obviously, I was still having conversations in the behind the scenes, which that's important. But my, public content was focused on the music, which is something I did not do for my first one. And the other thing that I did, which was follow my network marketing advice back in the day, is that I DM'd personally every single person that was watching my stories. And here's the different thing that I am experiencing with music is that typically when, you may be cold messaging someone on social media as a service provider, in my case, it's like, come watch my masterclass, right? Even if it's free. And people may view this as spammy. But when you're saying, my song is live, go listen to it, sure, they can still be annoyed because, people have the right to feel whatever they feel. But it's a lot less invasive than, buy my course or whatever. So I got an amazing response of people saying, sure, yes, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Can't wait to listen to it. And even after it was released, people are still listening to it on their way to work, saving it on their playlists, sharing it, which I'm so excited about. So that's what I did. I decided that my music was worth me messaging people privately. That is a tool that you should be using in your business. If you are not sending private messages, obviously connect with people, be human, all that jazz. But if you are not, then you're missing out on sales and on visibility. Because what happens is people trust you more. The algorithm favors your content once you connect with them. And the other thing is, if somebody's watching your stories, they are engaging with your content. Oftentimes we get caught up in they're not liking or commenting on my posts, so I can't message them because that's invasive. Well, if they're watching your stories, they're clearly interested in your content. And if you message them and they don't respond, no worries, man. Like the world's not going to end. So please do yourself a favor and start more conversations. That's what I did. I started more conversations. I put up more content. The other day, even, my daughter said she wanted to perform my song live. So I played the piano and she sang, and that got a bunch of engagement. And that's me promoting my song in different ways. So this is really what I teach you how to do in my programs, is teach you how to be intentional and to really have a strategy to promote the same thing several different ways. Give yourself plenty of time and spaciousness to do that so that you're not feeling overwhelmed and people have enough time to see it to then take action. So this is the story of how I released my second single, You Are Enough, and how I've hit 100 followers on Spotify, and how that didn't just happen. It wasn't magic. People didn't just find me on Spotify randomly. I reached out to them. Okay? And let's use J-Lo as an example. As famous as she is, I think she has 600 million followers on Instagram. She's still promoting her next release. So what does that say? You need to be talking about your stuff, and you need to have a strategy for that. And if you don't have a strategy for that, that's where I come in. And I want to remind you that there are several different ways that we can work together, starting with, if you just want some ideas on how to get more visible, you can right now download my 30+ visibility ideas. It's a guide, it's a PDF, it's downloadable. You get instant access and you can start implementing it right away to get more visible now. Second in the list is, did you know I have a membership where you can get coaching from me 3 times a month? We get on Zoom. So if you're needing some help, some feedback, some ideas on how to launch your new, program or whatever it may be, increase your conversion rate, get more leads for your email list, whatever it may be, that's the kind of stuff that I do. You want to get on TEDx, right? You want to do more speaking engagements. You can actually get a free trial to my membership called the Empowered Woman School. If you go to freegiftfrommarta.com, you can get coached by me 3 times in a month and then decide if you want to stay for $37 a month. And next up, I have my 6-month mastermind. So if you're really serious about getting visible and you want to increase your reach without having to spend thousands of dollars in a PR agency, then apply for my mastermind. I will have the application Google form in the show notes. And as soon as I open it up again, I will contact you and see if it's a good fit for you to join. So don't delay, friend. My question to you, to wrap this up is, do you believe your business is worth the legwork? Do you believe your message and your offers are worth the extra visibility? Then do something about it. Prove it. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. And get more visible out there, because you've seen me everywhere. And now it's time for people to see you everywhere.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.